All right, this is just We the People News. One more time at it. So this is here's the deal, and you know how far he's arguing about government and all the authorities that's going on around you, right? Uh, if you know anything about it. So if you don't, and you want to just never look straight forward and always look around you to be able to protect yourself by any means necessary, go check him out if you have not done so. Okay. Now, again, I'm not an attorney, so anything I say or do is just my opinion. Opinions only. Okay. And this is kind of interesting. So, this is actually a judge I did 2 videos back. And now here's the deal doing it. Hey, I was number 1. Alright. And a few videos back, I also did one too. Okay. Got into kind of a small discussion on the comment things, but just to give you guys notice, this judge is doing a probable cause hearing. Okay. Before they entered him, right, they did you know, are you guilty, no contest, or guilty? What are you doing? A plea hearing. Okay. I've told you guys before. Am I presumed innocent? Well, yes, you are. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stand on presumed innocent. But you guys can say not guilty so you could get to this point to fight your cases. Okay? For me, I'm just going to go with presumed innocent. If I fill out any paperwork, I'm scratching that all out, put a little box, and I'm going to put presumed innocent and check the box. If the clerk says anything, are you acting as my attorney? Are you licensed to give legal advice? All right. Well, no, they can't. And that being said, my cases have been, well, there's 2 of them. And when I did this process, it was automatically dropped. And a family member had a couple of cases, played not guilty, and it kept going to court and all that kind of stuff. So, coincidence? I don't know. Okay. But that's the way it happened. All right. Let's listen to what he has to say, because there's a couple of points I want to make as well up here.
A lot of people on the internet who absolutely hate what this judge is about to do, and the primary reason for that is because most of them out there who are commenting in the negative about what the judge did are bootlickers. Check this out.
Good morning, Mr. McLean. Sir, you're charged with interference with the duties of a public servant. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
Yes, first of all, think about this. He's facing a half a year in jail for interfering with the duties of a public servant. But what happens to the public servant when they interfere with our life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness that's supposed to be outlined in the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights and the Constitution that they swore to protect and defend? Almost nothing.
For a cleaner, more sustainable future, America's plastic makers are investing billions of...
An officer initiated a traffic stop in Harris County, Texas, after observing the defendant exceed a speed limit of 45 miles per hour and make unsafe lane changes. The defendant did not have his driver's license, but told the officer his name and date of birth. While the officer was running the defendant's name, he observed the defendant exit his vehicle, and the officer told the defendant to get back inside the vehicle. And the defendant responded, "Do I have to?" The officer exited the vehicle and attempted to detain the defendant. The defendant tensed up and locked his arms.
Everything is conclusory. And what has he done wrong? What?
It was the initial lane changes, unsafe lane changes, and the exceeding the speed limit that prompted the stop. And then at that point, he was just...
Stop. How exceeding speed limit? How fast was he going? I mean...
I spoke to the officer this morning, who told me that he was pacing the defendant at 54 miles per hour.
Okay, and...
Now, let's stop there right quick. Why are they talking to the officer? This was supposed to be in writing, in hand, in this case. It's not in writing. So therefore, the probable cause cannot stand. Got to breathe on some of these things, right? They don't need to talk to the officer. He's supposed to write the paperwork clearly, concise, and these officers are just, well, you see my other videos. Let's go on.
What? You know what? I mean, if it's on 610, he's fine, right? And then he's interference duties. What is he interfering with? What did he do wrong?
I think it was.
I don't know why the prosecuting attorneys didn't have the answer to this question, because the original male attorney said he exceeded 45. So she says that the cop was pacing him at 54, and so the answer is in a 45. But I don't know why the attorneys didn't come up with that. I don't know what's going on. So let's say he was doing 54 and a 45. He was going, and this is pacing. This isn't radar. This isn't LiDAR. The cop was pacing him at 54 miles per hour, which is 9 miles an hour over the posted speed limit if the speed limit is 45.
After the stop was initiated, the officer was running the plates. The defendant stepped out of his vehicle. The officer told him to get back in the vehicle. The defendant said, "Do I have to?" The officer told me that.
And that's the basis of arrest?
We're going to stop right there, right? And again, I had to bring up, because it's very important, y'all. These things has got to be in writing. Okay, and it's got to be clear and concise. What time of day? Okay, all these things has got to lead into a form of probable cause. They don't just get to willy-nilly on the paperwork. Well, they get to, because most magistrates actually ignore the people and cannot be bipartisan. They're partisan for the officer and the prosecutor. This one is actually bipartisan. He's getting everything cleaned up and what they are doing wrong.
Yeah, yes, but you're honest. Don't. Are you losing? I'm sorry. Okay.
So Pee Wee Herman is basically telling the guy, "Hey, don't even talk. Does it look like you're losing here? Don't make it worse for yourself by putting your foot in your mouth. Be quiet. Exercise your right. Invoke your Fifth Amendment right to be silent." Pretty funny.
And Your Honor, furthermore, as you attempted to detain him, he locked his arms and tensed up. So as you were attempting to detain him, following that incident, him telling him to get back in the vehicle, and it was that.
That's the basis for arrest.
It was just a temporary detention. He was just attempting to detain him while he was trying to
What's he
investigate.
doing wrong?
He
What's
had
he doing wrong?
65.
No, I don't think so. Okay, fine.
Okay, and this is what they automatically do as well. Anytime you just spoke a wrong word, they automatically have to put the torture cuffs on you. But they don't have proper cause to do it. It's just become what I like to call creature of habit. And they've been getting by with it for so long, they think they're not going to be held accountable. Well, and they're not. But we at least got some type of magistrate here, right, to actually throw off the side the probable cause because it did not fulfill the obligation of probable cause. Ugh.
No probable cause. No, it's just, he gets out of the car, and then it just the virtue of fact him getting out of the car is interfering with the duties. Really? No. Just, when you get into, just be careful out there, man. Life is...
So the general purpose of him getting out of the car is the doctrine of officer safety. It's not actually a probable cause thing. It's just an officer safety doctrine.
As it is. So when you get into, you gotta be careful, man. People always have to get you. Be nice. It's not hard.
So he doesn't let him talk. He tells him to sit down.
It'll go well. Look, I got it. I'm with you, okay? Just hang tight with me for a second, okay? All right.
So he goes and sits back down, and apparently the case was dismissed. But just the fact that he was up against 6 months for what? For going 9 miles an hour over the speed limit and then tensing up when they try to put the cuffs on him for absolutely no freaking reason? What is the basis for arrest? And it's interesting that the prosecuting attorneys, it doesn't sound like they ever encountered that kind of pushback. And that really wasn't a lot of pushback. It's like, come on, use your noodles, prosecuting attorneys. What did he do wrong? What action provoked the cop to go, oh, I got to put the cuffs on this guy and remove him from society? What exactly is it? Salty Cracker here.
Over asking a question. Do I have to go back in the car? Well, yes, you do. Okay. But no, as he gets out of the car, do I have to? Then the officer gets butthurt, comes around, and wants to put him in cuffs. It didn't say that he had to or anything like that.
Says,
allegedly.
Judge, that judge right there is why crime is through the roof. What the frick? What crime was committed? Let's say traffic law was violated.
And I'm going to interrupt this right here, right? This is why crime is up the roof. Well, excuse me. Why is innocent people sitting in prison today? Okay? This guy is looking at this one subject matter, but overall, if he's on your jury, he would have found you guilty when you're innocent.
Who's the victim? The state can't be the victim. Did he create another victim? Was he driving so erratically and initiating such unsafe lane changes that he put the public at risk? This guy says the judge made his decision before hearing any evidence. The accused exiting the vehicle is interfering with duties. And look at this. Salty Cracker has 79,000 views on this. With one.
Okay. So he said and talked about it. All right. Where was the probable cause? Okay? The probable cause. There's standards, there's steps to lead you from one direction all the way up to another direction to have that. And this judge is actually foundly, there's actually a decent one out there, especially here in Texas, when every one of them is breaking the criminal code 14, 15, 16. And the transportation code 543, which this would be under the transportation code.
8,000 likes. The accused exited the vehicle is interfering with duties. When the police officer attempted to control the situation, the accused tensed his arms, which is resisting and interfering with duties. The duty of what? There's only one duty that a cop should have, and that is to protect your rights and to protect the public if there's somebody doing unsafe things or putting the public's life in jeopardy, which neither was happening right here. We should literally throw out all traffic law because it's just a justification for cops to run roughshod over your rights and bleed you of additional wealth. This person right here says, that "are you losing no" got me like, damn, thanks, man. So many of us run our mouths unnecessarily too many times, which eventually got us into much troubles. Yeah, if you keep talking, they will compile data, and that data will not be used for you. It will always be used against you. Remember your Miranda rights? Anything you say can and will be used against you. How come anything you say could be used for you? How come it's not that? Silence is a virtue, and someone needs to tell us that sometimes. Sir, can I speak? Don't. Are you losing? This is an activist, not a judge. He just acted as a defense attorney, for F's sake. 103,000 views.
And again, he's one of them guys or girls that if they was on a jury, they would convict an innocent man or woman. I'm just saying, y'all. It's out of control. We've been literally so dumbed down we can't even understand and comprehend even the simplest probable cause. And then this guy's got videos out there now that we can actually learn what a true probable cause is.
Driving on a suspended license is a crime. What are you talking about? Is it really? Driving without permission from the state. If you don't bow down and lick the boots of government and get a permission slip from the government that they can attach to your lapel so you can show mommy and daddy government, look, the government's giving me permission to take my private vehicle down the road, down the public roadways, you're not free. If you're not...
It didn't say he didn't have a driver's license. He just didn't have one on him. Which people can forget their wallet. They can forget this, that, here, and there. And you can give the officers the information. I have my once upon a time driver's license number still memorized today. So I can give them my number and all that kind of stuff, and they can pull it up that way. If I don't provide it, it becomes a wink, wink, wink crime.
Free to take your vehicle down the road from point A to point B without getting harassed by police, without asking for a permission slip, then you're not free.
And that's Hell versus Hinkle. I guess my internet went out.
Our fall savings event gets bigger and better. Now is the time to enjoy our largest savings.
The judge is an activist.
Anyway, I just kind of want to interject and let you guys know that Here's Deal did it, if you ever watch his channel. But in the state of Texas, it's finally a good magistrate out there. And everybody's been so dumbed down of knowledge of law, they can't even see and comprehend what actually is a real probable cause. We've all become creature of habit to just obey. When 90% of the magistrates here in Texas, if not more, right? I have not seen a magistrate do what he's doing. Okay? He is doing it correctly. Everybody else is doing it wrong. Diesel with People News. Bye, y'all.